Hello and welcome to my clinic. My name is Dr. Angelica. I'm going to be performing unofficial EMDR on you per your request. Now, before we continue, I'm going to be needing your verbal consent and also a written consent to perform unofficial EMDR on you. Yes, the difference between official and unofficial EMDR is that EMDR is usually performed by specialists because it is concerning the trauma of a patient. It is eliciting that trauma, and its purpose, EMDR's purpose, is to create visual and auditory stimuli to redirect and reprogram the brain as it registers that trauma and associates it with more pleasant stimuli. That is why it's unofficial. I've learned from certain practitioners who are also unofficial, such as Karuna Satori and Kaplan, little tidbits and tricks to emulate EMDR to satisfy that sort of stimulus pleasure zone. So that way someone who is recalling their trauma, recalling their anxiety, or recalling their discomfort throughout the day can elicit these memories, elicit these responses, and have it sort of dissipated or watered down with the nice stimuli of eye movement desensitization, and reprocessing of the brain's registering of those events that occurred with more positive senses. Correct. So I'm going to be needing your verbal consent, as I said before, and a written one. Here, give me one moment to just pull up the application on my phone. I'm going to just pull this up real quick. How are you feeling today? Has today been more on a stressful day? I mean, it's a beautiful day outside. How has your stress levels been so far? Okay. You've been fine, but you just feel like there is some brooding sort of like congestion beneath your mind. Today's been a lovely day, but you just feel a little more tired because of some lower level sort of persistent underlying of anxiety. That's called high functioning anxiety, where you have, granted there's no supposed reason that's viewable that you should feel anxious, yet because you are persistently anxious, your mind constantly is releasing adrenaline into your body, and it's constantly releasing the fear hormone in order to keep you alert in case there's any danger around. And from having this constant drip of adrenaline and fear hormone, your brain gets tired, and you have this general sense of sluggishness and exhaustion because, chemically speaking, your body is tired from having produced so much adrenaline consistently. So that is why you feel more exhausted every day. It's because of the anxiety that's constantly making you feel like you have to fear for your life. So we're going to try to redirect that, try to silence those hormones, try to reach your brain to tell you, it's your brain, there's nothing to fear. Everything's relaxed. This is a relaxed environment. Listen to my voice. It's a very relaxing sound. Listen to the fact that there's silence. And just let yourself melt. So, would you mind just clicking your name, just tippity-tapping your name into this application? Thank you. Okay, so now that we have that all checked out, I'm going to be collecting some information from you on this application as well. So, permit me one moment. I'm going to be asking you just a series of questions. If there is a question that you don't feel comfortable answering, then by all means, just ignore it. Inform me that that's not a boundary you want to cross, and I will respect that boundary. Okay, excellent. So, the first question is, of course, the referral question. How did you hear about us? Okay. And how did you... How did you come to find out about EMDR? Okay. Now, we're going to be going down into your trauma now, a psychoanalysis, before we begin with the EMDR process. So once again, just tell me if you feel comfortable and to what degree you feel comfortable going down into your traumas. The first question is, how long ago did the initial bloom of trauma occur? Okay. And can you give a rough summary of the traumatic incident? Okay. Okay. Now, how comfortable do you feel going into detail? Okay. And since then, has there been any sort of related events that mirrored or paralleled that event, or has it just been sort of a persistent droll of anxiety with work and with school or with family life that's been sort of weighing on you? Or has it been sort of like an uphill sort of movement, just that one traumatic incident that still weighs upon you? Okay, I see. Okay, very well. Now that that information is collected, we're going to begin with the EMDR process. So what I'm going to be doing is, for right now, we're going to be evaluating the boundaries of your peripherals, essentially. So I'm just going to be waving my fingers around, getting nice up and close to you, far away from you, going left, going right, or yeah, your left and right, and then going up and down just to kind of gauge how far away to go. We're also going to be gauging the pace at which my fingers will be going, the speed at which it'll be going. All of this is according to your comfort levels. So I will also be fluttering my fingers as well. What I hope you do for this one step is just tell me where the boundaries are, okay? Perfect. So let's begin. Tell me when you can't see my finger. Perfect. Okay. Tell me when you can't see my fingers. Perfect. Tell me when you can't see my fingers. Okay. And again. Okay. Now tell me at which pace of speed you feel comfortable with. I'm going to be going fast, and then we'll just keep taking it slower and slower. So, okay. What about the speed? A little closer. Okay. A little slower. What about this? A little slower. Okay. What about this? That feels good? Okay. So, we're going to be keeping it at this speed. Okay. Now, I'm going to be pressing it closer and pressing it further away. Do I have your consent to get into your personal space a little bit? Okay. So I'm just going to be pressing it closer. Tell me when you don't feel comfortable. Okay? And then tell me around where you feel more comfortable, the fingers fluttering. Around here? Okay, so we're going to keep it here, going at this pace. The second step within this step that we're going to be discussing is flashlights. Later on during this process, I will be introducing a flashlight just to give you more visual stimuli. I just want to get your consent on that. Do you feel comfortable with using the flashlight during this process? Okay, so in that case, let's begin with the process. First, I want you to just get very comfortable. Make sure that your body is all relaxed. There is no tension in your shoulders. There's no tension in your neck. There's no tension in your lower back. Your palms are nice and loose. Your fingers are nice and loose. Your toes are nice and loose. Your ankles are nice and loose. Everything feels just like melting butter over pancakes. Your bed or the seat or whatever is your pancake, and you are the butter drizzling over it. The silence, my voice, there's nothing to think about. There's nothing to fear right now. Right now, you're just in this one moment in space, and every second clicking, clicking, clicking on by is you being present in this one moment. There is no humdrum rush. You're just here. So, now that we have that sort of platform to work from, keep that in mind. And now, keep yourself in this bubble and recall your memories like a like a scene from a movie. You can do so audibly or inside your head. And in the meantime, I'm going to be clicking my tongue and moving my fingers around. And you just keep your eyes on my fingers. Okay? Excellent. I'm going to keep silent for now, aside from just some clicking and some, perhaps just some cue words or whatever. So, let's begin. Recall something that gives you a little more anxiety. Choose which finger you want to focus on. I'll make the choice. Let's go with this one. Pinpoint what it is that you fear, the root of it. Don't focus on the details. Focus on the way it made you feel. You can say it audibly or inside your head. eyes here. Just focus on the light. Focus on the light. Don't focus on the light. Keep your thoughts. Keep your thoughts. Keep your thoughts. Light again. What about your trauma gives you anxiety? What makes you feel like an animal inside of that trauma? Take a deep breath in. One more. Make sure that deep breath is very deep and hitting your stomach. Belly breathe very deep. And then exhale. One more. Make sure the exhale is longer than the inhale. Well, that finishes our EMDR session for today. Give me one moment to schedule you in for, are you available next week? Excellent, for next week's appointment then. So, are you available next Monday? Okay. Perfect. At what time? Whatever works best for you. Okay. Perfect. I will see you then. Until then,